Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling. My name is BrendenPlayz, and today it is our Hard Justice pay-per-view in the month of August as we continue on the Bound for Glory series, and we also have our big headline matchup. Of course, it'll be Scotty Steiner and Christian. Look at that storyline, Heat 96. So we are heading for a pretty solid matchup right there. And we have plenty of other matches as well. It is Hard Justice. It is our hardcore event, which means it is gimmicky. We have got every gimmick you can think of. We've got a lot of craziness happening on this show. So this could either be really great or really bad. I don't know, but we'll give it a shot. So let's check out the show. We've got it all booked and ready to go, and we may as well get it straight into it. So let's see how we went. So first up, we had a 8-woman tag team match on the pre-show. We had a 69 rated matchup. We had Melissa, Molly Holly, Natalia, and Rebecca Knox. They beat Beth Phoenix, Jazz, Sarah Del Rey, and Tracy Brooks. Basically a bit of a way to kind of get every woman on the show. We've kind of used every woman we have on our roster at the moment in this matchup, except for our championship participants. So I kind of like that. A bit of an opportunity just to get everyone involved, and we need to kind of do that a little bit more, especially with our women, because they are a little bit low end. So obviously, if you're not aware, pay-per-view matches, not so much pre-show, but certainly pay-per-view matches on the main card, deliver a lot more popularity boost or decreases. So they are a real great opportunity to increase or decrease someone's popularity. To open up the show, we had a triple threat matchup. Kazarian, Fallen Angel, and Homicide for the X Division Championship. Fallen Angel won the matchup. He defended his championship in the triple threat there. 92 rated matchup. Kazarian lacked a little bit though. 76 in comparison to 88 and 86 from Homicide. So that's interesting. Still though, we had a really solid matchup despite Kazarian's, I wouldn't say it's a bad performance, but obviously in comparison lagged behind a little bit. But overall, pretty good stuff. 92 rated, a great way to kick off the show. And that's why we went for that matchup instead of a Bound for Glory series match, because it's basically a guarantee that our X Division guys will deliver, especially Christopher Daniels and Homicide have been excellent. So just that safety net, I suppose, putting them in this position, knowing that most likely they're going to deliver a good performance. Afterwards, we had Kazarian and Fallen Angel just shake hands as a sign of respect. Obviously, those two being a tag team. Not a great overall segment, but I felt as though it was nice to kind of say, hey, bad luck tonight, you did well, and the two tag team friends, the two allies, coming together and supporting each other. We then had a Scott Steiner promo hyping up his match against Christian. Gail Kim and Melina, wow, look at this for a women's match. It was for the Knockouts Championship, of course. Gail Kim, she got herself intentionally disqualified to keep the championship. 78 rated match, 75 from Melina, 63 from Gail Kim. So obviously Gail Kim fearing Melina, she knows that Melina's probably going to get her, and she continues to do everything she can to keep the championship, this time getting herself intentionally disqualified. So Melina just can't get a fair opportunity at the championship, it seems. Gail Kim doing whatever it takes. We then had a America's Most Wanted promo, and wow, here we go for a big tag team match. We had a really crazy match. We had a 6 Sides of Steel Fatal 4-Way tag team match. So plenty of men in this match. It was crazy. It was America's Most Wanted, New Age Outlaws, Motor City Machine Guns, and Marufuji and Kenta. So two kind of storylines coming together here. 89 rated matchup. Everyone performed really well, actually. Who's this? Alex Shelley, 97 rated performance. Wow. 97, that is ridiculous. I thought he was going to be one of the worst because this is a brawl style match. So Shelley and Saban had the worst brawl stats in the matchup, but for whatever reason still killed it. So there you go. It was James Storm who had one of the better brawl stats with the worst performance. But overall 89, can't knock anyone. It was terrific. We did give James Storm and Chris Harris the victory. And we're going to do the Team 3D in America's Most Wanted one more time. Because obviously, I guess you could say America's Most Wanted kind of injured Brother Ray. So when he comes back, they'll want their revenge. They'll have their big match. Maybe we do it at Bound for Glory. I'm not sure. We still have one more pay-per-view to go to kind of fill in the blanks there. But this was a #1 contenders match, and a very good one at that. So yeah, Shelley not happy that he was in a brawl match, but he had 97. I don't think you could be, have a better performance if you wanted to. So good. And afterwards, we had America's Most Wanted challenging Team 3D, so they won their match. Muhammad Hassan had a promo on Jeff Jarrett, so obviously Hassan cutting a promo on the man Jeff Jarrett, who is #1 right now in the Bound for Glory series. This match, I mean, this is a 6-man match, and I'll tell you in a moment what we did, but I don't know how this is going to go. I really don't know. This is going to be... We've got 2 6-man matches from the Bound for Glory series, so this is going to be interesting. So let's see. 83. Okay. Alright. That's not bad. So what we did is we had a 6-man ladder matchup. So we had #1 in the Bound for Glory series in Jeff Jarrett take on #3 Muhammad Hassan, take on #5 Sting, #7 Joe, #9 Rhino, #11 A-Train. So you kind of get what I'm going with here. So and then for our other matchup, 6-man, it was #2 versus #4 versus #6, so on, so on. So that's what we went for. So we've got a mixture of high popularity and guys who are doing really well in the tournament, and also a mixture of some of the guys who are lower end. And of course, special points are on the line. So if you win this match, you get 15 points. And that could obviously make you go from the bottom all the way to the top. Or if you're at the top, it could give you a lead that may not be caught. And that's the case for Muhammad Hassan, who got the victory in this matchup. He won and now has a pretty big lead on the series. So Jeff Jarrett no longer in first place. Hassan now has a comfortable lead at the top. And he had the best performance in the match, 90 rated. Sting, 62, he struggled. Everybody else did pretty good. Even Rhino, 75. So that's a better performance from Rhino, considering his performances have been that low 70 mark. That's a good performance from him. So that's good to see. Sting, we kind of knew he was going to be crappy. That's why we kind of put him in these multi-man matches, just to hide him a little bit. Unfortunately, he's just not that good. It really sucks. I want to use Sting. I wish we could have Sting in that, that Undertaker role. He comes back and has the massive matches and has these great matches, but he just doesn't. It really sucks. Anyways, 83 rated. Afterwards, we had Hassan and Sting going back and forth. Muhammad Hassan, talking trash to Sting, and then Sting gets on the mic saying, whilst Muhammad Hassan, you won the match, you still don't have my respect. Which, of course, is what Muhammad Hassan wants. He just wants everybody's respect and demands it, really. So, Muhammad Hassan, he attacks Sting and beat him down afterwards as well. 88 rated segment. So, whilst the match wasn't great, we did kind of pick it up a little bit there with a good angle to follow. We stuck this match on the card as well, Aries and Strong versus the Naturals. We had a few extra minutes, so we figured we'll put this on the card, and why not? It gives us a chance for perhaps Aries and Strong's popularity just to get that little bit extra of a bump. Austin Aries, he had an 84 rated performance, whereas the other guys, Roderick Strong, 54. I don't know what went wrong there. 54 rated. That's very unlike him. 55 for Douglas and 61 for Chase. So Aries carried this match. Got it to 77, so not bad. So well done to Aries. Christian Cage with a promo on Scotty Steiner. Then we did a hype video hyping up our next 6-man match. Even though it says here on the description only 4-man, it actually is 6-man. I just didn't change it. So the first one got 83. How does this second one go? So Abyss, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Lashley, Monty Brown, and Ron Killings. You would think that this is probably the lower end because I think there's a bit more star power in the other match, but this one got 86. It delivered more. It was a 6-way steel cage match. And what we did is we had Lashley win. So we went for a surprise win. We went with obviously a dominant victory, one of the top leaders, and Hassan winning last match. This time in this match, we wanted someone who was lower end and give him a big win and put them back in the chance, back in the hunt to perhaps making the top 4. So that's what we did there. We gave Lashley the win, who actually now will sit in 4th place just. So he's back in the game. So it was Abyss, Hardy, Styles, Lashley, Brown, and Truth. So Abyss was in the top, number 2, Jeff Hardy number 4, and so on. Abyss 92 rated performance, AJ 87. So I was a little worried about Monty Brown, Truth, and Lashley's performances, but they were pretty good. So Jeff Hardy had 79, but Lashley had 76. That's one of his better ones. Monty Brown 71 and R-Truth 70. So pretty good. You know, I guess Sting being in the last match probably brought the match down to 83. So not having Sting in this one kind of helped a little bit, and everyone had a pretty good performance. So it's really good that Monty Brown and R-Truth are doing really well, despite being quite lower end of our main event scene or upper mid card. They're doing really well. And Lashley, he's a guy who, as we said with Muhammad Hassan, is just going to need some time to develop, and he's going to get that time. You know, we're not going to give him, you know, probably not going to have him win the tournament or the championship, but we want him to be a factor. We want to slowly build him up, and this is a big win for him. It could mean that Abyss's popularity will drop a little bit. I tried my best to protect Abyss just a bit, because Lashley does have quite low popularity, so hoping that doesn't affect them too much. Afterwards, we had Abyss, obviously pissed off that he lost the match. He's one of the top guys in the tournament. He thinks, you know, you should probably, you know, bet that he's the favorite to win it. So he got pissed off, tried to attack Lashley with a steel chair, but Lashley reverses it and lays Abyss out. So Abyss, not a good night for him, but a great night for Lashley. We then did Matt Morgan versus Raven. Now we wanted to do Tanahashi versus Matt Morgan, but what happened, of course, Tanahashi had a booking with New Japan, so we couldn't go with that, but that's okay. Probably better that we have Raven stick him on the card and have Matt Morgan beat him, which is exactly what he did, defending the Global Championship. So giving the Global title a bit of exposure on a pay-per-view. Also, it now leaves Tanahashi and Morgan up our sleeves. Matt Morgan gets a win over Raven, so might gain a bit more popularity as well, and be even better when we go and execute that Tanahashi match. And Raven, oh, what a surprise. He was on the drugs. Okay. So we're going to hype up Steiner and Christian, our main event. It was a last man standing match. We went for that. So hopefully this delivers. I mean, last time was pretty good between the two. Was it like 86 or something like that? We went for it with the main event again because I wasn't sure if the 6-man matches were going to be, you know, anything spectacular. And they probably weren't. They were good matches. But we want to, you know, we want to try and hit a 90 rated match for our main event. Now, will this hit that? I don't know. So I felt as though this was the better matchup and more of a safer matchup compared to the other ones, because who knows what the hell what could we expect in the 6-man matches. So here we go. Main event time. 93 rated. Well, there you go. 93 rated. Christian defending against Scott Steiner. Last man standing. Christian's the last man standing. 95 rated from Christian. 69 from Steiner. Scott Steiner was slightly tired, you know, it was a bit tired towards the end, so it was a 20-minute match. I originally had it down for about 18-17 minutes, but we did have some extra time, so I decided to bump it up just a little bit. Probably cost me maybe, but overall 93 rated. Who cares? That's great. A lot better than what I expected. I thought maybe 88, 89, but because of that high popularity, high heat I should say, in the storyline, and the great popularity of both guys, just elevated it, and Christian obviously carrying the match. So great stuff. Overall show, 92 rated, 92 rated pay-per-view. You'll take that every day of the week. Absolutely excellent. And we have to give Christian the love for that. So we'll give him the praise. Tell him he's awesome, because he is. I might give Muhammad Hassan the praise because he was really good as well. And you know what? What about Alex Shelley? What a performance he had. So give them the praise they want, make them happy, and away we go. So 92 rated pay-per-view, that's excellent. You cannot complain with that at all. Fantastic, really is. It will be interesting to see where we go with our popularity changes, hopefully for the better. We took some risks, we definitely did, and we may as well kind of update you now with the Bound for Glory series, where we are at. So here we go. Up in the lead is Muhammad Hassan now. He has 44 points, a huge lead now. And then it's very close. We've got 5 men still in the hunt. Abyss, Jarrett, and now Lashley have 29 points. So Lashley moving up from 14 up to 29 points with his big win in this matchup. So that's huge for Lashley. He now has a top 4 spot. But there is still another 4 weeks until the semi-finals, which means that Sting and Jeff Hardy still have a chance to secure a place in the finals. It's huge. They still have that one last chance to get themselves there. They've got a few weeks now. the wins are huge now. If you win, you have a chance to get to the final. And if anyone in that top 4 loses from now until the next pay-per-view, they could be done. That's how big it is. It's so close right now. And 2 guys who are sitting outside the top 4 still have a big chance. Down below, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and probably Rhino still have a small chance. They'll have themselves a couple of matches. So at least 3 more matches until the next pay-per-view. So they still have 3 matches. So 3 wins there, maybe even throw in a submission victory, puts them in the hunt. So that's what they need to do. They have to win every match from here on. You'd have to think to get there. Whereas perhaps those other 5 guys on 28, 29 could afford a loss or 2, but you probably wouldn't want it. You'd want to be trying to score a submission victory to get themselves up to the top. So it's so close right now. It really could go any way at the moment. So all we probably know is Muhammad Hassan is probably a definite for the finals at this point. He's probably got himself locked in. The rest, it's fair game. Okay, so let's check out the results of the pay-per-view and see how we went. We have a few other little things that we've got to get into first. So Conan have been offered an extension, so not to worry. We got him on a pay-per-appearance deal. We're not worried about that. Ultimate Warrior, he retired, so he's done. And he's 47, so we could have brought him in as a, I think he was a semi-active wrestler. Could have brought him in and had him lose, but that's done now. Jim Cornette, he's been offered a contract, not to worry. Nothing to really worry about there until the Hard Justice pay-per-view buy rate 0.35. So pretty good. Happy about that. That is pretty good. Matt Sydal, his contract was expiring. He has a pay-per-appearance deal, so we will renew that, of course. Ricky Steamboat, his contract's expiring. He's a road agent. No, we probably don't really need him. We're kind of good with the road agents. We don't want to have too many. Just kind of stick with 1 or 2, really. Because if you got too many, you just got them on the payroll, and they're not really doing much. And finally, Orlando Jordan. Big opportunity here, guys. Huge star, Orlando Jordan. We could bring him in the TNA. Do we want to? Hell no. Orlando Jordan, he's horrible. He sucks. He's just mediocre completely. So, no thank you, Orlando Jordan. We'll pass on him. But, yeah. So, we don't really need him. Raven, we'll give him another fine. It doesn't really help. No, but we keep fighting it until eventually he realizes. Hopefully, one day he does. We'll advance one more day, and we'll see if there's any more news stories before we check out the popularity changes, because hopefully this is a successful pay-per-view, because there's, like I said earlier, there's some big changes potentially happening, especially with the Bound for Glory series matches. So we'll see where we're at, and we'll see how we are. Obviously, Christian and Scott Steiner having such a terrific match as well. Big chance that their popularity also increases. And Johnny Gargano has left our developmental because his contract expired. So, okay, you're probably thinking, why did you let his contract expire? Well, I don't know if I really intentionally meant to. I probably forgot about it. But he's not quite anywhere really near coming up to our main roster. I mean, we've got no real plans for him to go there anyways. He's only 19, still very, very young. So I think there's a few guys that we want to bring into developmental. We want to use them, especially guys who are unemployed, who are not wrestling. It's an opportunity for us to bring them in for 6 months to a year. Bring them in, put them on our roster, and have them work on our roster. And if they're really good, yeah, we'll keep them. If not, well, that's fine. We give them a job. We give them a chance to develop their skills, and then they can go work elsewhere. And then eventually they'll be at that point where they can come back. As you can see, Gargano certainly improved, no doubt. He's certainly improved whilst he's in developmental, and he's not too bad at all, but we just don't really have a place for him. We've got other guys that would probably, would rather put ahead of him and get him, get to developmental before him. Obviously Nakamura, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, those types of guys. Kevin Thorne, he's very close to going up to good popularity. He wants to move up. He's complaining that he's down in developmental. Petey Williams, we know he's been complaining. So there's a few guys that are ahead of Gargano, and we don't have a spot for everyone. So some people may have to miss out, but that's okay, because they can go and work a different, he could go to Ring of Honor and work there and have success, and then, maybe a year or two, if he's at that point, we can, think about bringing him back in. So we don't necessarily have to put everyone on the payroll. They can always, go away and develop elsewhere. So Abyss, I don't think he lost popularity. He's up to 88 in most regions. Despite the loss, I was really worried he would lose popularity. Didn't really seem to happen. AJ still can't seem to get his popularity going. He just kind of gets going and kind of stalls. Yes, he's not winning all the time, and that's a bit of an issue. We just can't seem to get him going. Shelly, that's good. We got him up to 60. A-Train slightly dipping as well. Austin Aries with his victory, maybe a slight little bump up as well. And just kind of moving along. We'll see everyone else. Christian, up to 89 and almost 90. So he's got 90 in a couple of regions. So how good is he going? And look at his morale. Extremely happy. Why wouldn't he be happy? He's just killing it. He is on fire. He's loving it. He's loving TNA. Who would have thought? So Christian is absolutely awesome. He's fantastic. Just kind of moving along as well. Take a look at Fallen Angel. 73, 74 now. So his popularity's really starting to get there. He's certainly creeping up. And before you know it, might be one of those main event tier guys despite being X Division champion. So doing very, very well for himself. The problem is he's probably nearly getting too far ahead of the rest of our X Division. You see Kazarian only at 60. We saw Shelly at about 60. Homicide, he's doing very well as well. 69, almost 70 as well. So Homicide's certainly right there with him. So we have two major stars in the X Division. Of course, when the Bound for Glory series is over, AJ Styles will probably go back in the X Division there. We got something to go on with there. Maybe Samoa Joe, probably unlikely, but it's possible. I don't really want Samoa Joe to be in there. Kind of see him more as a heavyweight. So we'll go with that. But yeah, there's a potential there for a few guys to kind of go in the X Division after the Bound for Glory series. James Storm, he's got his popularity up to 70 after another win there. Jeff Hardy, technically our number 2 babyface. He's another guy who just can't seem to really get over that 70 bracket. Probably need to give him a few more victories, to be honest. His performances haven't been amazing. 13 wins, 8 losses. Not terrible, but yeah, he probably does need a few more big wins. Maybe he could have used that big win instead of Lashley. But Jeff Jarrett, he hasn't really suffered too much. He's still doing very well. Probably at where we want him to be. At that popularity level where we can really use him as a big name, but not too much where he's kind of overshadowing anyone else. And he's not exactly the main guy, but he's certainly a very valuable addition to the roster. Kenta, we've got him up to about 50 plus, which is good. So he's starting to become more useful after that great tag match. Most of those guys involved should have a bit of a bump up there. Lashley, wow, here you go. So Lashley was at about 72, 73. Winning that big match up there, he's gone to about 77, you probably would say. 77 in most regions. So there you go. So it was probably worth that. Probably worth giving him that major win and going with that. I mean, you can see 72, 73, now a big bump up. His skills are not quite there, but as you can see, they are improving. They definitely are improving. And I think, like I said with Muhammad Hassan, give him 6 months to 12 months, I think he could be one of our top tier guys. And he probably nearly is more popular than Jeff Hardy. Very close. So Lashley nearly leaping from number 3 up to number 2 babyface. So that's certainly interesting. So I guess giving him that big win was really worth it in the end. I don't think anyone really suffered too much from it. Mainly Lashley just benefited. So probably good to do that. Melina, not much change there. What about Gail Kim? She got another victory, up to 58. So we kind of need her to get in that 60 mark to really be a good competitor for Melina. Monty Brown, not too much of a change there. Muhammad Hassan, so obviously him getting the major win. Let's see where he's at. So Abyss is probably still ahead of him right now. But you can see 86, 88 in a lot of regions. So about 87 you would say. So very close to really catapulting, and I'm sure with a few more wins in this Bound for Glory series, he could be a real chance to take on the champion. He's certainly leading the series right now, so he probably is the favorite to win at the moment. And if he does, then that's going to really set up for a major showdown between himself and Christian. Raven, he lost a bit of popularity after losing to Matt Morgan. How did he go? So Raven went from 66 Matt Morgan went from 58 to 63. Raven went from 66 to 63. So now Matt Morgan's gone from 58, maybe 60 I should say, to 63. So that was a good sacrifice. It worked out well for Matt Morgan, who we see as a pretty good mid-card guy, mid-card heel, big man, potentially could play a bodyguard role for someone, another bigger name, you know, so that's something we can kind of think of there. But we probably need to start building up a few other guys to take him on, and now Tanahashi's been the one, but he's kind of lacking behind a little bit at the moment, but not too bad. So we've got certainly some names that we can throw in the mix there, like you know, after the series is done, a Rhino, an R-Truth. You know, there's plenty of guys we can think about there. Road Dogg, Billy Gunn. So there's a few names we could probably throw in the mix. Speaking of R-Truth, he's up to 66, so no real change for him. Samoa Joe, 71, 72. And a couple more names. Scott Steiner, he's going great. You know, we got him in. He was 75 popularity. We thought, oh man, is he really worth it? What can we really do with him? Put him in this feud with Christian and has just worked out sensational. Up to 83, 84, 85. So he is doing awesome and more popular than Jeff Jarrett now, which is surprising. So Scott Steiner has more popularity than Jeff Jarrett. That's how good this feud has been. It's taken him right to the top level. And Scott Steiner, to be fair, well, who's he really beaten? He hasn't really won that many big matches. He beat Styles, but he hasn't really beaten any major names. Christian continues to beat him all the time. So he's done it just based on his promos alone and those great angles that we had. So it can be done. You don't always have to win to gain the popularity. And last but not least, Sting. Well, I'd say he might have even bumped up. 84, 83, so he's in a good position as well. So some of our old-timers are doing absolutely fine, which is great to see. And overall, you'd have to say that's a great show. It's a really positive show for us. Maybe one of our best that we've had. You know, it's hard to really say. Was that better than Bound for Glory? Sorry, for the Slammiversary, I should say. You know, Victory Road got 88, Slammiversary got 92, so very close. It's, you know, same rating for in comparison to Slammiversary. Better buy rate. Obviously, Slammiversary got a better attendance. But yeah, so there you go. Great stuff. Bound for Glory series really doing very, very well, I would say, for us. A lot of guys have bumped up quite a lot in popularity. So definitely really cool to do tournaments. I'm kind of really starting to warm up to tournaments a little bit more after kind of being a little bit against them. Okay, last thing before we get going. Now, I was kind of taking a look at some of the big free name agents who are around. Who has some popularity that we can get in? Who can we sign? So, you know, taking a look, Chris Jericho, will he sign? No, he's still not, you know, keen. Steve Austin? No. The Rock? No. Even Brock Lesnar? No, he doesn't want us. But there's one man who could make a major, major impact. No pun intended. Goldberg. Goldberg will sign. Now, he currently is on hiatus, so he's not currently wrestling anywhere or wants to be a wrestler at the moment, but he will negotiate. So he's valued at about $31,000. We could get him. He's 39 years of age. We could get him in. We could get him in. His stats, look, they're not bad. Good brawling stats. The rest are okay. I would probably say the best he might be able to do is a 70 rated performance. Just a wild guess. So I don't think he's necessarily going to be that great in terms of in-ring stuff. But look at the popularity. 88. Oh, it's so tempting. But the thing is, for me, it's fantastic that we've taken everyone that we've started off with a few exceptions, but we've taken them and we've made them stars. So do we want to start going around and buying big name guys to bring in? Do we want to start bringing in the top level free agents? I don't know. I'm really torn. I would love to get Goldberg on the roster, and realistically, it could have happened. It could have happened in real life. There's no reason, you know, if Goldberg was interested, he could have come to TNA. Sure, absolutely. So it's a possible scenario that could have happened, but the only thing is, do I go for it, considering we've worked so hard to get our Abysses and our Muhammad Hassans and Christians up to that 88 mark, or very close? Do we just say, alright, screw it, let's sign a guy who's that level? Or do we think about business instead and say, hey, Bill Goldberg, he's money. He's 88 popularity. You stick him against Christian, how big would that be? Or you put him against Hassan or Abyss, it could be huge. And he plays a fantastic babyface, so probably couldn't do the Christian match, but hey, Abyss and Goldberg could be really great. And if he's not doing that well, you could give him on a 6-month deal, see how he goes, evaluate, and potentially kind of say, okay, let's have him put over some of our other guys. Put over our next few guys, make them stars even further. You know, that build their star power even further. So there isn't many, bad. It's basically a win-win scenario. It all depends on, do I want to kind of buy my roster and make it better? But it's not. He's available. We probably would have gotten Chris Jericho, maybe even Lesnar if he's available. So why not Goldberg? I'll leave it to you guys. Should we sign Goldberg? Let me know in the comment section down below. Should we get him? I'm really torn. I don't know. And by the way, Raw 91 Raiders, so let's hope we can beat that one next show. But that's all we have time for, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Total Extreme Wrestling. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on it and let me know. Goldberg, yes or no? Thank you for watching. See you next episode.